This is going to be an explained run of Wings of B because my PB video for this game is not very high quality as is ripped directly from my stream. So I'm doing a run right now to show off the game. This run should represent an average attempt at the game. This game is made by Solgren, the same guy who made I Want to Be the Bashi, which was a game that has shown a lot of success at previous GDQs. I'm hoping that I could show off Solgren's new game. Similar in what Solgren does, is a very difficult 2D platformer game with a focus on tight movement controls, difficult platforming, and interesting, diverse bosses. The speed tech for this game involves a lot of frame saving, a lot of precise movement, mostly not dying on the platforming, and boss quick kills. The category for this game is Mortal Purified. The Mortal refers to the difficulty of the game, which is its normal mode, as the easier difficulty Angel kind of trivializes a lot of the game, making it a lot less entertaining, while the harder Demon mode actually has very little to offer that Mortal doesn't. It doesn't have new platforming or very many new boss attacks, and it's also less marathon safe and slower, as you need to do more boring safety strats and such. Purified refers to the fact that I start with all of the game's melee weapons, as that adds a little bit of a diversity into the run, and it shaves a few minutes off the time. If you do not have Purified, then collecting the other weapons are a waste of time, as they only really save a couple minutes, and it's a large pain to actually get them. This first level is mostly about saving frames and dealing with enemy manipulation and RNG with the teleporting fire guys. They're the guys who sling the fire and teleport around. Most of this game's RNG is within the early game, and there are no major big time losses off it, so it is pretty marathon safe with no issue. There are quite a few save skips in this game, where you purposely skip checkpoints for the purposes of resetting back there later. They are marathon safe. There are always backup strats. For example, there are a couple save skips where you do not take a save right before a boss. However, if you have taken damage before that, I can easily just take the save before the boss, which would give me back to full HP, making it marathon safe. However, going into the boss at full HP, I should be fine almost 100% of the time. Things could go wrong in any run, but it's unlikely, because these are both early bosses that are not very big of a deal. If I have full HP, it shouldn't be a problem. Like I said, RNG can cause some nasty stuff in the early game with those fire guys as I attempt to switch weapons to kill them, and it doesn't always work out. But the weapon diversity does give me options to try and work with them, but it doesn't always work. I try. The platforming is simple in this part of the game, and the first boss is also quite simple. It is simply just free shot by a weapon that is not used at any other point during the run because it's extremely slow. After this boss, I'll gain yet another movement mechanic, which will be the slide, and then I'll have both a jump. I will have my flutter, which I got after the first portal, and I will have a slide, and later in the game I'll gain a couple more movement mechanics, such as a double jump, and a special dash that will be used in certain areas. So the platforming of the game is about to get a lot more complex, and it's going to add a lot of depth to the movement system. This second part of this level is very cycle-based, so a lot of my movement and such is based on how I know cycles of rooms will happen and what will happen in them, which is gained by a lot of knowledge of exactly how fast you're going and playing the game. Once we're out of this floating keep level, which is kind of the game's tutorial level, the platforming will get a lot more intense, and that's when the first big save skip will happen. So the game gets pretty hype after that, but I sure hope that the beginning of the game could be used to kind of introduce it. This game has very little RNG in it. The upcoming boss is basically the biggest instance of RNG, and after that it's a very consistent game. There's not that much to worry about. It's mostly about the skill and execution, although there is stuff here and there. It's not that big a deal. Like I was saying, this room is incredibly cycle-based, and I was able to do a fast strat because of my consistent movement and going fast in previous rooms. That previous room, with me sliding through without slowing down, was also very cycle-based. This boss is very RNG based on the attacks he gives you. You can lose a lot of time or go very fast depending on his attacks. This is the worst. This is the worst. Nothing I can do. Still hoping to show off good execution, but there's not much you can do to speed up this boss when you get bad RNG on him. Now that we're out of the floating keep, this is going to be where the game gets quite intense. Intentional damage on bosses will pretty much stop being a deal after the next one, and the boss difficulty is going to ramp up pretty quickly. But I have a very long amount of practice in this game, so it shouldn't be a big deal. I'm hoping to showcase the bosses well and execute well on them. This is just a brief free movement kind of scream, which is different from anything else in the game, but can be quite interesting and a little scary in the bottom section if the robots fence me in. Looks like I'm fine. Alright. Upcoming, I'm going to be getting the double jump in around 30 seconds or so. After that, we'll have the first save skip. This is the Electrum save skip. The goal of this will be taking a save in the village, where I'm going to get the double jump. Then I will not take any saves on the way to the boss, so I'll be skipping 3 saves. Animal noise is ruining my narration. I would say that at the GDQ, this game does not actually have animal noises in it. And after I skip the saves on the way to the boss, I will kill the boss, and I'll be able to reset to that last save I just took, which will get me right back to the village again. So I can grab this feather, which gives me my double jump. I reset to the save, which gets me right on the path to go fight Electrum, who is at a dead end, which is why resetting saves so much time. If I take damage on the way to the boss, I will have to carry it into the boss, so the marathon save backup strat is to just take the save right before the boss, so the save skip is completely marathon safe. The save skips in this game can just be chosen not to be done, or there's a backup strat that makes it safe if you go for it, so it's definitely nothing to worry about. This section is a little intense, and these orbs do a solid chunk of damage. They do 35% of my HP, but if I get hit by 1, I could still take 3 hits from the boss, so it's still pretty safe to carry it into the boss, but like I said, marathon luck happens, and it can be definitely worth it to take the save before the boss and then a no reset run. This is just a showcase of really bad RNG, again. He can either jump or spit on that lightning attack. He chose to be a huge jerk, because the spit knocks you away from him, so you lose a lot of damage output. This boss is mostly about knowing his transitions, the way he attacks, and the way he transitions between his attacks, and how to properly damage and move along with him. I didn't do it perfectly, but the boss is hard to do perfectly since you need to react to which attack he chooses and then execute it. Once the boss is dead, we'll be able to collect his power-up, which will give me the ranged attack. The ranged attack will give me a projectile weapon. I cannot shoot it as fast as I want. The projectile weapon's firing speed is going to be limited by how fast it recharges, so there is a cap to it. And then I can just reset back to the village and continue on with the game. So as you see, I still have 60% HP, so the save skip is not difficult to do. Back to the village. This next area is where the mistakes on platforming start building up. This is when the platforming in the game gets quite difficult. There's 2 paths here. It's about 2 seconds faster to do the right path first. It doesn't particularly matter too much. Now there's a lot of tricky jumps coming up and a lot of cycle-based things and a couple fast strats, one of which I'll be doing. I can go to this wind stream, fall in at a precise angle to retouch the base of the wind stream without being hit back up, which gives me my jumps back. There's also a fast strat on that turret where you can skip a cycle, but it only saves 2 seconds and it's too risky and difficult. It might be shown in a GDQ if I practiced it a lot, but I'll probably just do the safe strat. Alright, those jumps are taken care of. Those ones can be surprisingly annoying. in certain circumstances with the enemies. Now this save only takes a couple seconds to get, however if I still have 100% HP I will not take it, as if there is another save quite soon and I have plenty of HP for this section. Especially since I can take 10 damage on that bug to tank through the 35 damage spinning windmill. Since I still have over half my HP, I'm definitely safe and I should make it to the next save. I might choose to take that yellow save in the marathon, but I'm very comfortable skipping it in almost any run, so I will probably not be taking it. Once again, this is very cycle based, but I know which cycle I'm on and I am prepared for it. Now there are some tanking strats in this room. I'll be showing the safer one where you do not take damage at the beginning. You do that. Otherwise you might have to avoid taking damage on the final obstacle, which is actually quite precise. Now because I've taken no damage, because I've played well, I can just tank through this instead of taking no damage on it. And I can just safely get up. This area is affectionately called the Troll Cave for being obnoxiously difficult in a couple parts, and also where the Amethyst save skip takes place. If I have full HP, I will attempt it. I will attempt to do this jump without using my flutter, which is kind of a precise angle. I double tap right in midair to set my perfect angle, and going through fast allows me to save my flutter for that, instead of taking the final wind stream. Now I have full HP for the boss, so I skip the save. This save skip is harder, and saves less time. This one only saves 12 seconds, as opposed to the Electrum save skip, which saves a bit over 20. However, if I have full HP, I will attempt it. If I lose any HP before the boss in the marathon, I will definitely take the save. Because if I were to die on the boss, I would of course respawn outside of the cave and have to redo the cave. That's actually quite good RNG, because that wind attack will end early if there's no fire, because a wind attack can only damage you by knocking you in the fire. So that saved me a couple seconds. This Death Beam will do 90 damage and will pretty much instantly kill me, so it's always a bit of a scary thing. However, there is a consistent way that will almost never hit you, so the save skip is pretty safe. But you know, in a marathon I could always choose to skip the save skip, and I will if I've taken any damage. It's quite easy to take damage in the so-called Troll Cave. It is named for a reason. Runners of this game, we understand. It's nasty. Alright, once this boss is dead, we'll be able to reset, and we'll warp outside of the Troll Cave. And that will get us back to the village, and we can go back to the cave where there are two branching paths. And here we are. Shortcut back to the village. Now for the grotto. The grotto has a lot of interesting platform mechanics. One of them is these switches, which you can shoot with a ranged weapon to cause them to put down the lasers. The lasers will instantly kill you. You cannot damage tank through them. Well, something worthy of note, I haven't made any major mistakes yet in this run. There have been minor mistakes, but no unintentional deaths. The 4 deaths listed are all intentional resets at saves. One of which was for cycles. I don't think I mentioned it. I'm pretty sure I reset the save with the turret in the second part of the Veil. There'll be more resets at saves, primarily just to reset cycles later, but the rest of them have just been save warping. This next save is kind of precise and kind of obnoxious. Okay, first try. I hate that one. You see the laser came up right behind my back, right as I walked through. Like I said, the platform in this game gets quite difficult, and if I'm making it look easy, then I'm doing my job right, because stuff like that is really obnoxious. It's a fast strat in this next room I'm hoping to get. Nice. Oh, never mind, not nice. Have to unnice myself there. It's a bit hard to kill the thing, get back down, reshoot the switch, and get back up without getting hit or falling down at any time. Now, there's a save right up ahead. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to fall down to where the secret is. These secrets are just cosmetic items that have no bearing on the speedrun, which saves me time on this next platforming section. Of course, it makes it more costly on a death, but it's no big issue because I still have full HP. If I take any damage in this section, I'll have to take the next save, though. Oh, guess I have to take it. The speedrunners call this save the save of shame, because it's a couple seconds out of the way and you have to jump up there and then go back. However, since there's a mine on the bottom part of this, which it only hits you on RNG because it has bad cycles, and it's this one. Oh, come on! That's why I took the Save of Shame. That is what it will be. It's a marathon save strat. It's what I do in runs, actually. I will always take the Save of Shame if I had taken 50 damage. That mine will only hit you on a specific cycle. Now this boss is immune to melee attacks, so I'll be just using the ranged weapon. The melee weapon I've switched to the weak long-range weapon because it will shoot bombs at me and other things later in the fight. Oh crap. The fight is still completely salvageable, there is no issue with this. If 2 bombs hit the ground, the fire they leave on the ground will make the fight extremely difficult and I will probably die. However, just 1 bomb should not be an issue. I have less space to fight in, but I'm managing this. However, I did cut off my safe spot to dodge the missiles. However, I've only taken 40 damage. I should definitely be fine for the rest of the fight if I destroy the rest of the bombs. I use the long-range weapon to destroy the bombs, but sometimes they slip through, like I accidentally did there, but I should be able to easily salvage the fight. Now he's enraged, these heal bots come from the right side of the screen, so I need to dodge his attacks, use all my orbs on him while also destroying the bombs and the bots like that. That was pretty good actually. Getting a fast kill on this boss means I need to be firing constantly. If I don't fire, my orbs will recharge, and I can only store 3 orbs at once. So if my orbs charge up to 3, and I'm not firing them, I'm wasting damage I could be getting on the boss. But that was a pretty good kill, judging by his position in the arena when he died. A very slow kill will be further to the right side. It's actually possible for the boss to push you to the back wall, but I have not seen that in a very long time, as I kill the boss fast enough. There's a bit of a glitch strat there. There's another one in this room. I'll explain it in a second. The range attacks have a bit of a backblast when they hit something. For example, shooting down, there I was shooting nowhere near the switch. However, the backblast of the shot hit the switch by like a pixel through the wall. So I was able to activate switches I wasn't even looking at, basically. Those are the only glitchy switch strats, those 2 rooms. Now this room I was supposed to hit the first switch instead of the second one, because if the minecart hits the lasers it will be destroyed, I need the minecart. But I just skipped to the second one because every laser is connected to every switch. This jump is always a bit scary. Yeah, you can see I barely make it. It's always a bit scary. Especially since I skip a save by habit, really. I mean, I'm pretty consistent on that room, so I never take the save before that room. It is marathon safe to skip it because of my level of consistency. It is worth noting that no major mistakes have really been made yet, but I'm, of course, probably jinxing myself, and no run goes perfect, and a run in a marathon will not be perfect either, and some mistakes, some unintentional deaths will probably be shown. This is just kind of an auto-scroller section. While it does have some interesting looking stuff in it, it's one of the slowest parts of the game and would be a good point for donations. The rest of the game is pretty fast-paced until we get to another auto-scroller, but the next one, which is much later in the game, is very intense and precise, so it's quite entertaining to watch, unlike this one, which is only moderately interesting. Next up is the Terravine boss. After 3 attacks, he charges up a giant laser which will instantly kill me. I can stop it by activating the minecarts on the left side. The minecarts deal a bit of damage to the boss. Now, I feel like I don't really need them, so why don't I just activate all 3 of them as soon as he does his first laser? Well, he will do more, he should be dead by then. That's the quick kill on this boss. You kill him activating all 3 carts immediately. It is pretty consistent. Oh no. Oh no. Not the paralysis. Oh. That was a very major mistake. What happened is, I got tagged by one of his spores on this spore attack here, and the yellow ones are the ones that ruin everything. Because I was paralyzed, it took many hits, and I wasn't able to even reach the minecart to stop his giant laser, so I just reset. That happens occasionally. That was the first big mistake of the run. It is difficult to dodge everything, so it does happen sometimes in this game. I rarely die on this boss, but I suppose that I was bound to die somewhere after a while of not dying. I wanted to show off the fancy strat where you constantly jump at that boss's face while manipulating the vine spawns to kill them as they're coming up at you, but because he used the vines attack when I was busy activating minecarts, the spawns and cycle was completely different, so I wasn't able to get the right setup for it. However, that was still a pretty decent fight. I mean, the second attempt at it, the first one was a mistake, but what can I say? No run goes perfect. Mistakes are more of a win and not an if in this game. My PB has 6 unintentional deaths, which is an incredibly low number for me, and for anyone else. I believe it is the run with the second least unintentional deaths on it on the leaderboards. So, speaking of leaderboards, I completely forgot to mention, I'm 1 minute from the world record in this game. I will show the leader. Oh, I fell off. So much for fast strat. I was thankfully manipulating the skeleton movement. It's really complicated. It takes a bit of getting used to, but I was able to manipulate him into going above me so I could still make it to the save even with my less HP. Oh boy. I was speaking so much about leaderboards. As you see, this is where the platforming gets getting brutal. There's a lot of enemies, there's a lot of damage, and the fast strats are kind of hard. The bad stuff does start happening. Anyway, now that I'm done distracting myself, I hope, I was trying to say that I am 4th place in the leaderboards. I'm 1 minute from the world record. I play the game daily and I'm improving daily. And I feel like I could put on a solid SGDQ submission. I will show the leaderboards after the run if there's interest in showing them. Skeleton quick kill. Wow, that's really precise. Can we get the next one? Oh, no. It's hard to manipulate the skeleton movement and to be able to spawn kill them. I call them skeleton quick kills. They're difficult to get. I'm always happy when I get one. I didn't have time to really explain it before I got to this part of the game because I always talk about the leaderboards. There's so much to explain with this game, I'm constantly talking, I'm having difficulty doing it. Anyway, now I have this dash power, which lets me gather these wings, which give me 1 dash. The dashes are in a direction, so I can dash, you know, anywhere I want. And there's a bit of a glitch with the dashes that will be shown in the next part of the Underworld after this upcoming boss. If you use your flutter, during a dash, your flutter is actually based on your current momentum. So if you hit flutter immediately after a dash, you can actually get some extra momentum in the direction of your dash, which can be used to make some small unintended skips and do a couple interesting fast strats, including one particularly terrifying early cycle that I love doing. I'm gonna try and get the skeleton skip. The way these little fog gates work in I didn't get it, no way. Yeah. The way those fog gates work in this game is that, they're based on enemies that are on screen, and skeleton movement, you can push them off screen after killing the teleporting fire guys, and you can actually skip killing the skeleton on the first pass there. Okay, this boss is pretty exciting to speedrun. I had to be quiet there, I had to get the, hit those rocks back at him. It's hard, the rock spawn points are based on your current position and where you have moved, and like where you're moving towards. It's difficult to hit all 5 rocks if he starts with the attack, but hitting 4 back is pretty good. If he uses the attack at the very end, you can manipulate it. It's possible to get 5 rocks, although difficult. Getting him below 50% is a good showing. This is the fun boss to do in the speedrun. There's a lot of skill to it, with hitting rocks back and properly using your orbs. So it's always exciting. I enjoy showing off this boss, people who have not seen it, as it's kind of an exciting dynamic boss. That was, I thought the save stone was in the other spot. I still have plenty of HP, so it shouldn't be an issue, and the boss is quite low. It's possible to kill him on the second phase, but only 3 people have ever done it. It's a little ridiculous. Even so, that was still pretty fast. That was a good fast showing in the fight. That was a very quick kill. Alright, this is where the glitchy flutter wing dashing will come into place. First, this terrifying early cycle. Let's get it. Nice. As you can see, I basically scraped that worm. It was very close. I'm skipping that save because I'm pretty confident I could do this. That was like a pixel. That was like a pixel. Oh. Perhaps in the marathon it would be a better idea to take that yellow save instead of skipping it. I will not be taking it though. I probably do not need it. I was very, very close to getting this. The platforming is, you know, I should stop saying that it's difficult and let the platforming speak for itself. Because it really shows. Okay, early cycle here maybe? Nope. There's a precise flutter and jump you can do to get an early cycle on the diagonal worms that just pass that saves around a second. It's very precise. It's fun to go for because it looks, once again, it's like you barely scrape by the worm. It looks very cool if you get it, so I do like getting it and showing it off. I'm skipping saves so I can just reset back to the center save because I need to collect all these keys on these branching paths. So by skipping the saves I can save a lot of time by just def warping back. It's the main reason I did not want to take that yellow save on the top key, but I did pay for it. It does sometimes happen. But I wanted to show off the fast strats. That strat isn't that terrible of a time loss if you miss a save skip. It does hurt, but it's not like a terribly marathon unsafe strat. Okay, this is the chase. This one's pretty fun. This is a little wing dashing section while you're getting chased by a worm. Made it. No problem. Gonna try and get a little quick kill on this conving here, which is the flying enemy. Oh. I did 5 out of his 6 HP. If you do it fast enough, then you can basically kill him without slowing down. If you don't do it fast enough, you have to fall outside the wind stream and go back in, which slows you down a lot. Also, that vertical jump is obnoxiously precise. I don't know why. It just is. I hate it. Now, there's 4 fire guys that will spawn. I killed 2 of them and get through before the third one spawns. It's possible if the first one flies towards you to only kill 1, but it's pretty precise. I will definitely kill 2 as a marathon safe strat. Alright, this boss is exciting. Each statue has their own health bar. When I finish one off, it'll do an extra chunk of damage to the shared health bar. Oh, uh-oh. I messed up the strat. It looks like I'm going to improvise. This is gonna be rough. So much for showing off the fast kill on this boss. This could be up to 10 seconds slower by my wild estimation. There's a specific cycle chosen on this boss, a specific method. I was trying to show off a fancy strat there that's completely pointless and saves no time, but I guess I messed it up. The fast way of doing this boss is about 10 seconds faster than probably what I'm going to end up doing. Because the length of this enrage in the left statue is based on how late you do into the fight. I like to do it very early, but I accidentally enrage middle statue first. The speed of their attacks gets faster depending on when you enrage them. The difficulty of the enrage is based on how late you do it into the fight. I should be able to kill them on the next cycle. There's a lot of mechanics, there's a lot of things I'm doing, a lot of small things. It's hard to explain because I have to do it while fighting it and the fight doesn't take that long. Alright, I should have it now. Oh! Because I did it wrong earlier, I had bad damage spread. The statues become invincible and heal a lot, and the pattern chosen is chosen because you can easily kill them quickly. And I messed it up. It was still decently done. By the in-game timer, that took around 127, and you should be able to do it in under 120. So, coming up is about a 20 or 30 second skip. I forget the exact timing of it. It's a wing dash skip. This one's pretty hard to do, and there's a fire guy that can attempt to easily stop you. In fact, there's quite a few fire guys. The next couple rooms are going to be rough if they don't want to let me through. Doing the next rooms fast is not fun. Alright, let's attempt it. Okay, first, this room. Now I have to wait for these black holes to get out of the way because they instantly kill me, and just go through. Oh, I should have seen that coming. I got knocked all the way down. Really? Stop that. Okay, I'm fine. Sometimes you get knocked down. Now the skip. If I don't go fast enough, I'll be instantly killed after completing the skip. Crap, he flew away from me. Don't stop me? Okay, I'm good. If I did that slower, the black hole would have been in position to block me from entering the next screen and instantly kill me when I attempted the skip, but I went fast enough and we're all fine. That skip saves about 20 to 30 seconds. Those purple enemies will shoot you if they face you, so you have to get around them. This is an auto-scroller. This section is really, there's a few pretty precise jumps. This one isn't that bad. Oop. I gotta take that back. I actually have the most trouble with the first one, but it shouldn't be an issue. Really? This game does this to you sometimes. Even the best, even the world record holder will have wow. Even the world record holder for this game will have spats of gameplay that look somewhat similar to this. You do not always get the jumps on the first try, and occasionally that happens to you. It's just the nature of running this game. It's, you know, it happens to people who play Boshi too, which, you know, the other game that people speedrun that Solgren made, so it's just something to be expected. Alright, these rotating black holes will instantly kill me, but I reset for cycles right before the elevator, so I'm very comfortable with their cycles. This part's a bit scary, but fun to show off. If you know the right way to approach and move, it's not that bad for a speedrunner. And there's a bunch of twirling black holes up here, but because I reset to set the cycle to be consistent right before the elevator, I know exactly what to do. Hoping to skip one of the skeletons here. Got it. So that guy flew off screen, letting me through the fog wall. If I messed it up, I probably would have fallen all the way down the elevator, but the important thing is that I got it. I might choose to kill both skeletons if I'm feeling the pressure or the run is not good. But it's not very difficult to get through that fog wall, so I tend to skip the first skeleton. If I kill the first skeleton way too slowly, I will not attempt it. It's not safe. I'm not going to fall down the entire elevator to try and save a second. I can only do 1 damage to this boss at a time, so I'm using the long-ranged weapon. You can stun her after 8 hits, which makes certain projectiles despawn. And I can also use a long-range weapon to attack her for the big fireballs. You're supposed to use the meteors to break the big fireball by lowering the fireball into them, but I'm just going to stun the boss instead. Depending on where you stun the boss is you'll have to hit her into the lava, and the way that you hit her is dependent on like where she lands, so you need a good knowledge and good reaction time to get a fast boss fight. This is the boss's enrage. She's invincible during this period, so it's kind of a good hardcore donation more than anything else. It's just watching me go back and forth mostly. Now I've taken no damage on this boss, so I can afford to make mistakes, no problem on the next phase. The next phase will have a floating skull which will follow me. I'll need to hit it away with my ranged attack. If I accidentally use my melee attack because I'm too close to the boss, the skull will not budge and it will do a lot of damage to me. So I switched to a shorter ranged weapon to try and prevent that from happening. Okay, here it is. So I basically hit the skull away a couple times to get on the top of the screen. I get more on the top of the screen there. I was trying to jump over the fireball, but the boss's stupid fire shield hit me into the big fireball. The boss's fire shield also blocks my shots, as well as hits me, so I need to shoot in between them. The boss herself doesn't have a hitbox, so I was able to jump in between the fire shield and some rocks to get a nice dodge there. That was a very good boss fight. And, you know, I only took 30% of my HP, so it was pretty well done. There's a cool looking fast strat in this upcoming room. Let's hopefully get it. It looks very fancy. Ah. Please. This is my regular strat. It's not that hard. Let's get it. Well, I did take damage, so I screwed it up again. Can I just... wow. This game does this to you sometimes. What can I say? This is what an average run looks like. A perfect run would have very few less mistakes. Well, got that time. Still got hit, but at least I got it. Like I said, my PB has only 6 unintentional deaths in it. Most of them in a late game, very difficult area, the one after this. Okay, I got that early cycle. I tanked through 2 enemies, only hitting 1. A bit precise. That was pretty good. I have to kill all the leeches to get through that door there. And I was able to kill many of them, so I didn't have to wait for them to go over to the black hole. Alright. This is the password room, it's a little puzzle room. I just missed the first ball and I had to go back. I entered it wrong. My diagonal shot, I actually missed it and didn't notice, and I hit the wrong thing. That was embarrassing. Alright, there's a cycle-based, really cool fast strat here I'm hoping to get. I can go through this without slowing down. Nice. Now, if you slow down at all in the previous rooms, you will not even be close to being able to get it, and I'll have to slow down to do a backup strat, but I did everything optimally, and I was able to go through without slowing down. The ceiling is chasing me here. I have to hit these little levers to make the ceiling go back up. There's a bunch more levers on the bottom, but I don't need them. I'm just going to ignore them and go through. Don't die here. Okay, dying on those jumps at the bottom was, you know, an obnoxious 30-second time loss because you spawn at the top of the spike ceiling room. It's possible to do that little corridor constantly running, jumping, and shooting, but it's kind of terrifying and I'm not going to do it. Shooting the eyeballs is what's making these things rotate. Okay, those eyeball rooms are very smoothly done. It looked quite nice. There's a scary fast strat here I'm hoping to get. So I'm trying to keep both of these skeletons alive. Come on. Okay, I should definitely have it. Oh, I had that. I was trying to avoid unnecessary damage. I did a little tiny jump, and I got stuck in the fog gate. This strat's a bit difficult. It's very fast because you don't have to slow down to kill the skeletons, but it is a little difficult to achieve. I should have it this time. Got it. 5 HP. It's always a bit scary. It's difficult to do. Like I said, no run is perfect. This run particularly showed a good early game, as I made no mistakes until the Terravine boss, but you know, it's showing a not very strong late game. So this run is probably going to be a, 2 or 3 minutes slower than my PB at this current pace. Now this strat is terrifying. It took me a lot of hours of grinding to be able to do this. As you see, instead of fighting the boss on this nice convenient platform they gave me, I'm choosing to constantly fling myself off the arena, taking intentional damage to make this even possible. This is the Twin Orcs quick kill. By doing the boss off the arena, you can get pretty much constant damage. Doing this right is scary. Kind of focusing. Alright, 5 HP. Good. So the way that fight works is that each orc will take a phase, and then they will do an enrage attack in which they cannot be killed until it's done. And with the quick kill, you can actually kill them before the first enrage attack, and that is the quick kill. It took me a long time of grinding practice to be able to do that. The jumps are kind of precise, especially in the red phase when you need to stay off the platform for a long period of time without getting hit. It's very easy to either fall off or jump into the orc's weapon. Doing that strat properly takes a lot of finesse, and doing that at the end of a good run can be really stressful, but I was able to show it off quite well, and I'm proud of that. Had to wait a second there because that rock throw is kind of a dying hitbox that can knock you into the spike. This is the puzzle room. It's a new mechanic of this area. We'll have to hit this beating heart thing 4 times to make the wall on the right side go down. There'll be another puzzle room coming up. This room's really precise. Oops. Pretend that didn't happen. This room's really precise. Although it's mostly in the last 2 jumps. First, this one. Got it. Next one. I hate it. I really do. This happens. It's a hard room. Speaking of, I was so busy talking about other things, I got this super precise room right before the Twin Orcs in the first try, but I can't do this one. There we go. No problem. It was a problem, but, you know. This room's a bit tricky as well. This is another puzzle room, but with harder platforming. That's done. Now I need to get through this. Get to the next save. Switch weapons when midair. The weapon switch mechanism in this game is a bit clunky, because you can't attack while doing it. You have to hold the attack button to make it come up. It's a bit frustrating. Alright, this is the collapsing staircase. My platforms disappear under me. Oh, crap. The enemy survived with 1 HP and knocked me down. I assumed it had died. Doing the fast strat, you sometimes mess up because the worm takes a lot more damage before you get to the flying guy. That time it was taken care of. Because I got extra chip damage on the skeleton before entering the screen, I should be able... Nope. I was hoping to be able to kill him off the left side of the screen, but if he's too far off the left side of the screen, you won't be able to finish him off. Now I've got a moving platforms dodging section where you have to deal with this bone snake and use the land on it to make it through. You're supposed to slide and go off the left side, but it's just easier to do that, to be honest. Alright, that's all the hard jumps taken care of. First bone snake down. Second one, this one's harder. You have to hit this heart 4 times. You have barely enough time to hit it twice on the first pass. As you see, I barely make it back to the bone snake. Then I have to quickly get there and get back onto the snake, which you can manage like that. I have to slide off and... okay. Yes, that's the intended strat, even if you're not speedrunning. It's really difficult to do. Not on your first playthrough. Now this feather gives me a mechanic for a couple screens in the boss of this stage, but I won't have it for any other parts of the game. It gives me a very limited amount of free movement. I can transform into the demon ball. However, it only lasts a couple seconds. Hitting the red gas, like I'm going to be hitting right now, refreshes the amount of time I have to do it, so I have to move very fast or else I'll run out of gas and I'll transform back into an angel. This room is the same deal, I have to use the gas. Alright, this part's a bit tricky. Oh. The hitbox for that thing is really small, you don't have very much time, so sometimes you panic and you miss it. Especially with the, Really? Especially with the thin corridors you have to go through without hitting the ceiling or the wall. Or floor, I should say. No problem. Alright, now I don't have the demon ball form anymore. So I have to go through a kind of a gauntlet of rooms here. There is a fast route in the next room where if I don't take damage I will attempt to not kill the skeleton and just push him through all the rooms without killing him. Let's try it. And I'm good. That way I can just take the skeleton to the save and it gets me through faster. Now this boss has a lot of mechanics. There's platforms that are constantly falling off the arena. I have to dodge these things, they'll come at me when I press my attack button so they prevent me. Oops. Pretend that didn't happen. Take two. I also have my demon ball form. These things come at me when I press my attack button, so I can't attack during them. The boss is a shield that I have to deal with. Yeah, and that's lowering platforms. There's now green orbs at the top of the arena that I can collect when they're hovering over the platform you want to raise. If you miss them, then they won't do anything. Because it's easier to fight with the platforms raised. Wow, it can be kind of annoying to weave in between all the stuff you need to do while collecting orbs and also getting proper damage, because whenever the boss's red shield goes down and you're not getting the shield back up, that's wasted damage output time. This is not the best showing of the boss. I ignored the other black hole, but I have to kill this one because it's too close to me. The other one will grow in size for the rest of the fight, but so far on the left side of the arena that I should be fine. I've got this. This one killing too. Their hitboxes don't appear for a long time, making them kind of obnoxious. Alright. It's dead now. And that's the Azura boss. Very easy to fall down and choke on. Alright, coming up to the end game here. Now, we have Amethyst, who was a previous boss, following us and helping us now. Amethyst will help kill enemies, and will make some ice platforms for me. So Amethyst is kind of a jerk, as you see she's not even shooting the enemy. You're shooting the wall, Amethyst. That's literally a wall. You can't hurt it! And this is part 2 of Amethyst is a jerk. You know, just platforms. She's helping me cross, right? Nope. She puts one backwards. What a jerk. Mega Man troll. Alright, this is basically the last platforming section of the game. Then it's just the 2 final bosses. There's a couple tricky jumps at the very end. The final Really? Really? I thought I'd kill all the enemies. The final jump of this is jokingly called by a couple people of my stream. We call it the shark tooth. It's the last spike you could die to, and I like to die on it. That's the shark tooth. Yep, that's it. You can slow down to not die on it, but I like to not slow down mash jump, which is probably the reason I die on it sometimes. Really? It's usually an exception more than the common thing. I generally don't die on this, but I find the fact that I'm dying on the coin's shark tooth. The world record holder jokingly calls this the shark tooth, because he slows down on it to not get hit, and I don't, and I sometimes die to it. I usually don't, but occasionally I get there in a good run, and well, that happens. This boss has a lot of mechanics. The yellow gas from the skull and the ceiling will cause him to build up his speed. If he builds his bar up entirely, he will do an enrage attack in which he's invincible. He can also heal. The goal is to not cause his enrage and kill him before that, so I'm hitting the skull off the top of the screen so it won't reach me. When he finally chooses to do his spikes attack, please. Alright. I can break these and hit them back at him. One headshot? Is that the second one? Ooh, that's 2 headshots. I don't think the bottom one got him. The headshots do more damage than the shots anywhere else to the body. The legendary triple headshot is always fun. One headshot? Two? Oh, is that a triple? I can't tell if one's of his neck or his face. Either way, this is a very good boss fight. A good boss fight takes under 1 minute. That was beautiful. That was really beautiful. That took under a minute. That was a very good fight. Sadly, the platforming before the boss was not shown well, but the execution on this boss was flawless. It can be quite easy to screw up the headshots, and that was just done. It was done well. Alright, final boss time. This boss, doing fast kill on this boss is really scary. There's intentional damage taking that can get you absolutely destroyed. You constantly take damage throughout the entire fight, and there's just terrible things. So starting now, I'm taking damage constantly. If you look at my health bar. Now, wow. Okay, so I just reset there because I'm not taking damage that early into the fight. That was a mistake. Anyway, your friends help you fight here. So the green one drops those health orbs, which only really heal you enough to mitigate the poison damage. You're not going to heal the damage you're taking by the boss, really. Okay, so I had to count that. That attack comes on an extreme delay. If you time it right, you can trap the boss on the ice, and Amethyst will do a death beam for you. Nice, that was a good dodge. Doing that attack fast involves meleeing him instead of going off the side of the platform to dodge the bubbles easy. This is a really good chance to get good damage in. This is a good fight. This is a really good fight. It's a shame that I messed up the first attempt with it. When it does that scream thing, you have to hide in your friend's shield or else it will instantly kill you. If you don't get to the shield in time, you die. Alright, so if he goes up at 50%, this should be the fast enrage. I didn't have to count there because there's a visual cue on when Amethyst lines up with a certain part of the background, so I didn't have to be focused in counting. Alright. Now he does 2 sets of these bubbles. This should be a solid fight. Just finishing up the boss, not much to say at the moment. And after this I will show the in-game leaderboards as proof that I have a very good time in this game that's very competitive with the world record. I'm only a minute away and I'm getting there. A lot of extra damage at the end, but I'm good. And that's Wings of V. There's no major skips, so that was pretty much almost all the content shown, besides just little side areas for cosmetic items, but there are no major skips. Pretty much everything was shown. I hope that was a good showing of the game, even with the mistakes, but like I said, a marathon run might look something like that, since mistakes are kind of inevitable. And you can't always get a very, very good run, especially when you're only making one attempt at this. This was recorded and taken in one take, so it was just a random run, random attempt. It shows your credits and deaths, so that's kind of a fun thing you could do in a marathon. You could make a guess at the deaths. These are the game's leaderboards. Let me put on Mortal mode. As you see, I am 4th place in this game. I'm exactly 1 minute from world record. The real time for this run is, of course, still under 44 minutes. The real time is only around 8 to 10 seconds slower. I forget the exact time at the moment. So this shows that I'm very competitive in this game. I play at a very high level, and I'm very dedicated, and I still practice this game essentially every day. And I plan to practice this game at least every other day, all the way up to Marathon, where to get in. If you watched this far, thank you so much for watching that far. If you skimmed through, that's still fine. Thank you for considering me.